morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and today I am bringing you, finally, after a long wait, some Napoleon Total War gameplay. And I am playing in this battle, and it actually was my first victory in Napoleon Total War ever, so I thought it fitting to upload it. And, yeah, it's called the Battle of the Four Bridges, because there are four bridges that are effectively separating us from the enemy. And we'll go ahead and look at the army comps real quick. I'm going to put this in slow motion because, as you can see, the battle is already underway. So we've got some interesting alliances going on. I myself am playing as the French on this side. I have a French ally and a Denmark ally. And then over on this side, we have three United Kingdom or Great Britain enemies. So Great Britain on all sides here, and then we got a French-Denmark alliance on the other side. I believe the rules were 1 arty per player and max 2 cav plus the general. I did join late, and I realized halfway in the battle one of the players commented that I broke the rules and I brought 3 cav plus the general. But I did effectively let him know that I was going to charge my 1 unit of cav in to make it even. So no harm, no foul, right? Hopefully he didn't mind. I think they were all pretty cool about it. So yeah, we'll take a look at my army first. So I've got about 4 units of the Swiss foot. They look pretty elite, pretty amazing. And then I have 5 units of these chassés. So they're light infantry. They've got some excellent range on them. I've got 3 units here, and then I've got 2 units across on this other little fjord, like this kind of island area. And I have a 5-pound howitzer, or sorry, a 6-pound howitzer, but it looks like one of them was already wiped out by enemy artillery fire. And then over here I've got my lancers. They look really awesome here. Loving this Lancer cav. I'm not very good in Napoleon Total War, so I did kind of take some hints from other people, and I guess the cav to bring is the Lancers. The heavy cav is just too slow to really make any effect. And then in the farmhouse here, I've got 2 units of National Guard, so basically just cheap militia. And down here, I've got 4 units of Polish Legions, so hopefully they're going to bring the gold for me today. And then I've got my General Maréchal Soult. Oh, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. But we'll take a look at the second French player here. He's got some 6th Regiment. We've got some Fusiliers of the Line mixed in with some Swiss foot. He's also bringing some Chasseurs. That's my Chasseurs running. That's okay. We got the General Staff over here, and then he's got a nice little hill defense. He has his 6-pound howitzer up on the hilltop. Very good positioning there. And then he's got some Old Guard and some 18 Regiment the Brave. And he's got some National Guard as well, but he's saving his elite for last. And he's got his Lancers back here. And then moving on to the Denmark player, he's got some Lifeguards of foot, so also keeping his elite infantry in reserve. And he has a 12-pounder foot artillery. And then he's got his lights kind of set up nicely on this hillside, although I don't know if the positioning is going to be the best. We'll find out. But he's bringing some Norwegian ski troops, which is kind of cool there. And then he's got a bit of a 2-tiered defense, so he's got a lot of line infantry guarding this one bridge here. But then the main bridge is over on this side. You can already see Great Britain firing down on this line infantry. And here is the Denmark Cav, who have already crossed over. He's got some Lifeguards of Horse. Very interesting uniforms of the yellow and the pink. So let's take a look at Great Britain kind of as a whole very quickly, because the battle really is very much underway. So this player over here is going heavy on Highland foot. He's got some rifles in the front. He's, yeah, pretty much just Highland foot after Highland foot. So very, very heavy. I believe the Highland foot was a Scottish regiment. As you can tell there by the kilts and such. Very, very cool. So yeah, it's good to kind of see Scotland pretty represented in this battle here. We've got some Royal Scots Greys and some Lifeguards. And his general and artillery is over here. So he's got the General Staff, and then he's got a 5-pound howitzer. Middle player over here, he's got some Highland foot, some King German Legion. Looks like his Dragoons have already been routed off the battlefield. Oh, yeah, his 5-pound howitzer crew is routing. Wow, that is excellent. Dragoons and the General Staff over here. It looks like the French made a very daring charge at the artillery, managing to wipe them off. More Highland foot basically over here, so very heavy on that. And then just basically a bunch of foot with some rifles in the front lines. Looking at the last player, he's got some dragoons back here. He's got the general staff. This is the player that is facing me. So he's basically just gone with an entire foot army. He's got his 5-pound howitzer and some light dragoons as well. So, whew, let's go ahead and put this on play now. So he's got one of his foot units that was trying to get into range of my chassier, but I was very careful to keep them back and kind of out of the way. We can go ahead and minimize the mini-map there for now. So yeah, you can see that they were getting quite peppered down. Looks like more of the foot are moving forwards to kind of support the position here. He's also gonna, looks like he's limbering up his artillery, going to be moving them forwards. But yeah, this poor foot unit is just getting cut down. It's possible he's trying to use them as fodder, but he actually probably was trying to move them into position to get my my howitzer here. But yeah, I'm just shelling their position down. Now, being a newer player, I kind of did take more of a defensive position here. You can see I've got my Swiss foot finally set up in a nice position. That's something I really struggled with in this battle, is just your positioning of the troops is key. If they're firing up just a bit of an incline, or they're facing a little bit to the left or to the right, you're going to miss, you know, 50, 60% of your shots. But it looks like, yeah, he pushed up some rifles over here onto the bridge. I don't know if that was a misclick or not, but yeah, they are getting cut down, as you can see. We've got the dragoons kind of moving up. The foot is lining up. I'm not sure if they're really planning on charging the bridge as of yet. But if we take a look in the center, really this is where most of the action is going on with this French player. The Great Britain foot, they are in range of my chassiers, so I'm pulling them back out of range. I want to keep them away, but he's pushing pretty heavily on the flanks. We've got some more foot over here. Ooh. Firing against some fusiliers of the line. They do have the better position, though, the French, because they do claim a lot of the houses. And just look at this. Look at this battle for the houses. My goodness. So we got Old Guard and Fusiliers of the Line mixed in with, we got some rifles in here, and some Highland Foot as well. So if we kind of zoom in, we should be able to see them fighting in the windowsills. There we go. Just fighting away. I believe that the French still have that, though, just because the Old Guard is present in there, and a lot of these troops are rifles. They're not really meant for prolonged melee. But the French are getting peppered down over here. He's got to kind of pull back to a better position. Meanwhile, on this side, all is pretty quiet for the Denmark player. He has lost a few men trying to fjord this bridge here. And yeah, it looks like the Highland Foot were well prepared for that assault. They've pretty much effectively wiped out one of the Denmark's line infantry. Let's zip back to the other side of the field here. I think one of my units was running again. I believe that was my chassier. It finally broke. It had come back, but then broke again. I'm targeting my 5-pound howitzer at this very thick line of infantry right here. And here come my dragoons. These are the dragoons that I agreed to sacrifice because I brought too many. So that was a nice charge there, though, that I got with these dragoons. The Highland Foot, I believe, did not... Yeah, it doesn't look like they formed square. So I got a good charge across the bridge. But he does have 2 units of foot guards, so they should be able to fight quite well in prolonged melee. Unfortunately, this unit of foot guards is facing the wrong way, though. He should get them turned around to face my dragoons. But I think he's firing over here at this Polish Legion. I'm still doing pretty good, though, with my defensive stance. You can see that a lot of the infantry has moved over to this side. He's got his rifles and his foot over here. I'm effectively wiping out this this foot unit here, though, just by having better range. But yeah, let's see him fire. Fire, boys. Oh, they're going to move forwards again, maybe? There we go. I believe that there are some mods for the sound of the gunshots and stuff, so I may look to actually get them. I get a nice charge with my other 2 units of Dragoons right into this depleted foot guard unit. I realize that the French player is having a tough time dealing with all these British troops. Looks like we got a charge over into here as well. British basically just charging the lines of the French. I believe this is the Swiss foot. Yes, it is. But I'm helping as much as I can, and I'm just pretty much breaking, you know, all of the infantry that was sent here to support from the guy that I was facing. So I got a nice charge on these rifles here, pretty much breaking them. And I've pushed over all of my National Guard and my Polish Legion onto this side, just because my Swiss foot is holding that bridge quite well. So yeah, really most of this action is in the center here. I'm still fighting some more troops on my side, but not really too much. You can see Denmark is failing in his attempt to push forwards again. Another unit of line infantry breaking. So very nice defense here by this Great Britain player. So we'll run over here to this side. You can see that actually Denmark is really supporting well in the center, just like I am. We're really pushing in the center to eliminate this player, just because he's taken such an aggressive stance. He's Highland foot, though. Oh, it looks like France is retreating. I think they're pushing up some men, but they've got the Highland foot holding the bridge. And yes, I've got my Dragoons in behind. I was going for those rifles, and then I decided to go into the Coldstream Guard, but they formed square just in time and pretty much routed my forces there. Here I've got my Chassé and my General, so I'm going to move in behind and take out that 5-pound howitzer from the Great Britain player that's facing myself. But we're doing pretty well over on this flank. Most of his infantry is pretty much destroyed. You can see that this 5-pound howitzer is actually pointed towards the middle, so a lot of support going into the middle. But here we go, the the Lancers just running in and destroying these guys. This guy died from nothing. That's interesting. But there we go. So most of them have been completely destroyed. We've got a gutsy charge by the General over here, slicing down a couple of my men. But there we go. The General has been slain on this flank. So I pretty much effectively wrapped it up here. So I'm still pretty healthy, surprisingly. So I've got a lot of my men over here to help out. So my Polish Legion is all lined up here, firing across. And the English player is kind of pulling back to a second layered defense. And Denmark is also set up over here, but it looks like the Great Britain player on the right-hand side is also moving infantry over to help in the center here. So he's going to get a nice kind of flanking shot on these, what are these, line infantry here. Yeah, the Highland foot are facing perfectly perpendicular to the, or parallel, I should say, to the line infantry, whereas Denmark is kind of facing off to the right. So I found that when I had my troops positioned in this way and just right-clicked on them to fire, they were just not as effective as if you just took time to reposition them in a straight line and then fire down. Another thing that I was really impressed with this player is it's best to have a 2-layered line in your infantry. The only reason for that is because it's not like an Empire Total War where they fire by rank. In Napoleon Total War, you have to spread them out in thinner lines. So if you have a 4 or a 6 line infantry unit, only the front line is going to be firing. So if you move them up like this so that you can get 60 men firing instead of 30, then you're gonna, maximize your chances of eliminating the enemy. But we've got a lot of Highland foot from the Great Britain ally on the right-hand side, just because not much is going on for him against Denmark. They both kind of at the stalemate at the bridge. So it looks like he's going to go in and kind of support and try to take this out from the French. You can see a lot of men falling out of the windows. There they are. They're all pouring into the house there. I don't know what that changes the chances to. Yeah, it looks like the Highland Foot are getting the advantage there. Got some Swiss Foot, Polish Legion, and the Brave, Regiment of the Brave. But it looks like he's funneling more chasseurs into the action. I probably wouldn't funnel them into house battles, just because, you know, rifles, the long-range rifles are kind of better at longer range. But at this point, I've pushed my Polish Legion across the bridge, and I'm kind of taking the fight to the Great Britain infantry. So things are looking good. Unfortunately, he does have the hill, though, which is a better position, and I believe that these Highland Foot are more elite than my my Polish Legion. Plus, I've got these National Guard here with my rifles, but they're just pretty much getting cut down. Yeah, there they go. They're already running. So a lot of my infantry is crumbling at this point. Probably not the best thing for me to push them forwards here. I probably should have pushed them back and waited, you know, for a better opportunity. But I've got all my Swiss Foot up here, so that looks awesome. I'm loving the Swiss Foot moving forwards. We'll see who the better red coat is today. But in this area, I've got the high ground, so I feel like I do have the advantage. I've got this nice little hill, but again, you know, the Highland Foot from Great Britain just spreading out really, really wide. He's maximizing his efforts here. They're pushing forwards into a better position.
Our men are running, sir.
My men are running. What a surprise. That just looks epic. I do have some rifles left as well, though, so they're going to help me get some range in this little fight here. And over here, I've also got some chasseurs with my Swiss Foot, so I'm really trying to spread them out. As you can see, I'm pushing them to 2 ranks here, which is excellent. I did have them a little bit too clumped up at first, but now they're in a decent position to be able to fire back. And then down here, I've got them in about 2.5 ranks. It's a little thick. I should actually spread them out a little more. This is a little too clumsy here. But these Highland Foot, man, they were really, really hard to take down. Really, really elite. Taking a look in the center, Great Britain has won the house over here. And as you can see, Denmark has fallen back, and that's allowed the Great Britain players to push forwards into this other little grassland here. But he has to be really careful, just because Denmark has his lifeguards of horse here, and he's pushing over his lifeguards of foot. So very, very elite infantry on the flank. He doesn't want to turn to face Denmark to where his position would be good and then get charged from behind. Oh, he's actually already put down stakes as well. This is a very, very good position here. Actually, I'm such a noob that I didn't even know that these skirmishers could put down stakes. Otherwise, it would have helped me against a couple of cav charges, but that's all right. You live and learn. Great Britain is retreating from the house. I think that's probably a good idea. I've got some Lancers left, but they're pretty depleted at this point. And I have pushed forwards my 6-pound howitzer. And I'm also pushing forwards more of my Polish Legion and my chasseurs. I believe I have 2 units of Polish Legion here, so I'm going to try and put some pressure on the flanks of these Highland Foot here. Like, they're thinning out, but they're still doing really well. This must have been a misclick here. I don't know exactly why I'm charging my men across the bridge like this. Either that or they had run out of ammo. I can't remember which. But I end up just charging them into melee. These rifles are probably going to break before they even get there. Charge! Oh, point blank just gets fired up. Yeah, and they pretty much just break right away. But that does allow some of my Swiss foot to be able to fire on them while they're repositioning, so that's good. But a lot of my troops are getting quite depleted. Very good play over here. I forgot to show you some Dragoons charging into my little reinforcement force that was coming in here. I managed to form square with one of my Polish Legion, but he got the rifles and the other Polish Legion in melee. So that was really frustrating to see. That was some bad micromanagement on my part. Trying to pull my rifles out of there, but you can see here comes another unit of Dragoons charging down. They're just going to slam into my rifles. I'm trying to pull them into the square, but it really doesn't help them much. And we've got some artillery fire coming down as well, so excellent play by Great Britain here. I believe, is that his general too? No, it's the Royal Scots Greys. So, yeah, that's pretty much effectively wiped out most of my forces. I've got this one unit of Polish Legion, and, yeah, I've got some Chassiers, and I've got some Swiss foot that have used up their ammo, so I've charged them into melee as well. It's hard to even tell who's who. We got the Dragoons in the background as well. Not sure if that's going to be something I'm going to win. Yeah, I'm charging in my general right here into these this Highland foot unit, and I'm using my Chassier to fire on these Dragoons, the Life Guards that are coming in to just mop up my men. We got the general over here as well. He's getting into the mix, so just an all-out brawl on this side. Oh, wow. Good charge into the side of my Life Guard, into my Swiss foot there. And they're just going to push forwards onto the bridge. Here come my Lancers. I charged them in, but it's pretty much too little too late at this point. Here's my Polish Legion, though. I've got them firing. This is pretty much my last infantry unit. And my general is dead, unfortunately. Oh, and here comes a good charge. I quickly form square just to stop the general in time. And I'm going to begin firing on him. But he's getting right into melee. He's supported by his Highland foot as well. They're coming into the battle. I try to break out of square at this point, but my morale is just so terrible from my general dying. Yeah, so that is pretty much me out. I've got my artillery, and that is it. Looking at the balance of power, it's pretty much stayed in the center of the entire battle, so it's still anybody's game. I'd say for the man count, it's probably still with the French-Denmark alliance, I would say. But I'm not sure about the quality. You know, it's kind of quality versus quantity. You know, these Highland foot are quite a tough infantry unit. Looks like he's going to try to reposition to take on Denmark over here. Lifeguards of Horse are just kind of sitting there, waiting for the opportunity to strike. And then for the middle player, all he's really got left are these Highland Foot. I believe this is for the middle player here. That's most of his infantry. See the artillery. I think I'm going to be starting to fire into these men. I do not want them to be flanking around us. I know that myself and the other French player are pretty weak, so I'm going to just focus my howitzer over on this flank here. Nice. Firing at the general and the Highland Foot over there. You can see that he's got some dragoons that are actually moving over, while some lifeguards and some Royal Scot Greys. So we have to be careful because they can actually flank around our position. But I believe that Denmark ends up moving his lifeguards of horse over there to defend our rear from being attacked. He's the other French players also sending up some Fusiliers of the line, but I think they don't have any more ammo for firing. And there we go. I actually managed to kill the enemy general with an artillery shot, so that's going to help us out dramatically as well. To be honest, he didn't really have that many more troops, so it's not a huge deal. But it will make those cavalry units that are flanking behind us less effective. We got some Highland Foot moving forwards here. Charging into the lights. I guess they are also out of ammo, so they're not going to be firing. But this unit of... Oh, is this not a light infantry unit? Oh, my apologies. Yeah, it's the 6th Regiment. It's not a unit of chasseurs like I had thought. Yeah, so there we go. The Highland Foot is pretty much routed. And how are we looking over here for the cav? Yeah, the two units are starting to split up now. Just look at all the destruction in this village here. All of the bodies. Wow. I think the French player here is kind of calmed down. The only reason being is because most of his troops are actually out of ammo. So he would have to charge into this Highland Foot here, which probably favors the Highland Foot in melee, if I guess correctly. So it's really down to Denmark on our side, who, to be fair, does have a pretty healthy army, I would say. He's got some line infantry over here firing. He's going to have to be careful with his calves so close by here, though. Unless they've used up their ammo, which it doesn't look like they have. Or maybe they have, because I would have thought that they would have fired on those horses. But here we go. So Denmark is finally getting into this battle. He was a little more of a supporting role. But now he's trying to, take the fight to Great Britain right here. Unfortunately, I don't know about his position, though, because if I kind of move down to their level, you can really see that most of the Highland Foot are not even in view. So he's actually going to have to try and push up a little bit farther. And then he's got some line infantry over here. He's got a nice position against Great Britain over here in the trees. As long as that's effective. I don't actually know if there's like an accuracy debuff if you're fighting in the forest, but from how he's facing the Highland Foot, that's a pretty good position. It probably covers him from, or it covers him from shot, but at the same time, probably nerfs a lot of his shots. Their morale is dropping quite a bit, though. Yeah, a lot of them getting shot to bits because they're just not actually facing the right way. And it looks like, yeah, here we go. Here comes some of the Lifeguard of Horse moving over to defend against the Scots Grey and the... What was this other unit? I keep forgetting. The Lifeguards. But the balance of power is still half, and it's pretty much one Great Britain player left, and I would say 2 players on this side just because I only have my artillery, so it's not like I'm going to make a huge difference in this battle. But I believe that I'm firing on these infantry units over here. You can see that they're very depleted. They are fresh, but they're concerned with the casualties they've sustained. Just look at that. Let's see these guys. These guys, yeah, they're firing at some Fusiliers of the line. And I believe the Fusiliers are out of range, so they're actually not even getting any fire back. Oops. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find the best angles here. You can just hear the crackle of the fire. Yeah, there's my artillery shelling them. Oh yeah, this building has been pretty much destroyed. Yeah, the Great Britain artillery is still alive though, and I believe this is the last enemy general that is alive. Denmark over here, it looks like, has been charged by Great Britain. So we've got a little battle in the forest here. We can kind of see that. Looks like the Highland Foot are going to be losing this, though. Yeah, they routed just before, I believe. Or are they still in this? Yeah, it looks like they're still in. Yeah, there they go. This other unit of Highland Foot is starting to lose morale as well. Ooh, that is tough to see. But these lifeguards of foot are definitely elite for Denmark. So yeah, just breaking 2 units over here. That's insane. Is that the last of it for Great Britain? Yeah, that's really it. These lifeguards of foot doing quite a bit of damage. He's still got all his lights left, his general. And I think at this time we start to push forwards and take the fight to them. Unfortunately, the Denmark player was unaware of the stakes here, and he actually ran his entire healthy unit of lifeguards of horse onto the stakes. So that was tough to see, but at this point it didn't really matter. We have the advantage in this battle. So yeah, here comes his lifeguards of horse. We've got some Highland Foot over here about to charge in. We got the Royal Scots Greys over here. Looks like he's going to chase the Cav. Yeah, they're just going to pour right in here against the 16th Regiment, but we've got some Fusiliers of the line as well that we could push into melee. Denmark's lifeguards of horse are just going to kind of close in the gap, and these Royal Scots are pretty much done for. So nice last-ditch effort there. And I would just take these lifeguards of horse and just run them right into this Highland Foot. Not sure if that's what he's going to be doing, or... because they are going to start firing down, so...
Sarge, are we all gonna die?
The guy's like, Sarge, are we gonna die? Oh, probably. Considering considering the other 4,000 Great British troops are dead. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be charging his horses in, though. I would definitely be trying to get them into melee if I could. It's possible that he's microing on other areas of the battle there, though, that's for sure. It looks like the French player is going to push in his 6th Regiment anyways. And we've got some Fusiliers of the line pushing over here. Yeah, most of this infantry in the center has been broken, as you can see. They made one desperate charge in across, but it didn't help them at all. And that is pretty much everything. We got this general over here, though, who charged into some of the Norwegian ski troops over here. So, very last Braves charge by the Great British General. And he's going to try and ride through these ski troops and get to the other side where Denmark's general is. Yeah, so he's pretty much going to ride right past and ignore all of those troops. And he's going right for the undefended artillery that's at the top of the mountain there. So let's kind of zoom to that perspective for the last shot of the battle. The howitzer is moving to try to fire down on them. Did a good job to avoid those stakes. And here they come. Luckily, Denmark has some lifeguards afoot here to defend them and to save the day, but this is pretty much the end of the battle there, guys. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed my first upload win, I should say, to Napoleon Total War. I found that the commentary is definitely different. Just I don't know exactly what it is about it, but you just have to engage it a little bit differently. So apologies if the commentary is not the same. I'm also getting over quite a bad flu, so this is kind of my first video back. But yeah, if we take a look at the stats here, so I actually didn't do too bad. I got 1,400 kills, so that's not too bad. Second on the team. Let's take a look at the unit statistics of my troops here. So 79 by the artillery, that's pretty good. My light getting 90. 103 and 100 by the lancers, that's not bad. Polish Legion 105, Swiss Foot 108, Swiss Foot 118. So yeah, some units doing really well, but some other units not so much. My general only getting 8 kills. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this Napoleon Total War battle. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you in the next one.